Welcome back, guys, to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about the rumours linking Tomas Soucek to Bayern Munich, or the rumours linking Bayern Munich to Tomas Soucek, and give my opinion on it. Now, guys, the simple question I want to ask you is that how much do you believe that Tomas Soucek is worth in this current transfer market? Now, I'm not saying that I want West Ham to sell him, of course I don't, but we paid £14 million for this guy after a successful loan move that was an obligation to buy if we stayed up last season, which we did, and he's had a fantastic start to the season, and it has been reported in media outlets that Bayern Munich are looking at Tomas Soucek. Now, guys, the one thing I'm going to say is that this is going to become more and more common. If your team is doing well in the Premier League or any major league, more than likely, clubs are going to notice West Ham and be like, well, who's doing well at West Ham for them to be 5th or 6th in the Premier League? And you'll see the likes of Tomas Soucek, who scored 3 goals. You'll see players like Declan Rice. You'll see players like Bowen. So it's not going to be, this isn't going to be the end of it. If we continue to do well, expect more news stories published in the coming weeks, maybe in the next year, depending on how well we do, that top clubs are going to be looking at our top players and be like, well, he's done it for West Ham. They finished 6th or 5th. I want a bit of that. So we just have to monitor that and just realise that it does come with the territory. If West Ham continue to do well, our top players, our most important players, will be linked away. Now, Bayern Munich were linked with Tomas Soucek. Now, for me, when I heard this story, I was a little bit gobsmacked, because when you actually think about Bayern Munich as a club and what they represent in terms of their style of play and their ethos, and then look at Tomas Soucek, you wouldn't say that Tomas Soucek and Bayern Munich go hand in hand. Bayern Munich are well known for their quick transitions, their tiki-taka, their possession style. They have 65% of the possession every single day, in every single game. They have little quick movements off the ball, and they sort of represent everything that Tomas Soucek is not. And that's not me damning Tomas Soucek in terms of his ability, because what he brings to West Ham and what he brings to our team is something that we've been crying out for many of year. Now, what does Tomas Soucek bring to West Ham, and why clubs could potentially be looking at him? Now, for me, his ability to score goals. We've seen so far this season, he scored 6 goals already for West Ham since he's been at the club in 25 Premier League games. That's not a bad return from a CDM or box-to-box midfielder. Scores a lot of goals from set pieces, but also the ability to defend. He's a very stocky guy, very tall guy that's got the athleticism to do the box-to-box job, to be able to, he's got the leg length, those players that just seem to have, their limbs are so long that you dribble past them and they'll just nick the ball. Similar to Declan Rice and Tomas Soucek, they're sort of both in that terms of, they'll just always seem to win the ball, the 50-50s, because of the athleticism they both possess, and in terms of their limbs, really. They're just big guys. So that's what they can do. Now, as I said, Bayern Munich are well known for their possession, and Tomas Soucek, in my opinion, his major flaw in his game is his technical ability. When you see Tomas Soucek on the ball, you do seem to worry, like, he doesn't really have that killer pass. He doesn't have the pass that plays in between the lines. And a lot of the time, that when he does get the ball, he does like to play it side to side, or he pass the ball 5 yards forward. He isn't just that kind of player. But Bayern Munich have been linked with him, and it was very interesting to see, because, as I said, it doesn't really tie Tomas Soucek and Bayern Munich. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that would be a good fit. And as I said, guys, West Ham paid £14 million for Tomas Soucek. In my opinion, how much is he worth now? He's probably worth 40 to 50 million pounds. Now, that's a big jump from what we paid Slavia Prague for Tomas Soucek. And people might be thinking I'm nuts and probably he's worth 30 million. But you've got to think about, if we was to sell Tomas Soucek in January to Bayern Munich, how much it would cost West Ham to go and probably buy a similar replacement. Now, this is someone that could play box-to-box, but he could probably easily play centre-back if we had a shortage of defenders. He's a tall enough guy to win headers. He can win tackles. He could play centre-back. Now, if we was to try and buy a replacement, someone who scores goals, who can probably get 8 to 10 goals a season, someone that can supplement your attacking goals, your attacking threats, like your Ben Ramas, like your Bowens, like your Fornals, your Antonios and Helez. If you've got someone from midfield that scores 8 to 10 goals a season, they're probably worth a lot of money, especially if there's someone who could do the defensive side of the game as well. And that is what Tomas Soucek has in abundance. But for me, I wouldn't be worried regarding the Bayern Munich rumours, just because, as I said, I don't really see how he would fit in. Like, if he was to join Bayern Munich, for me, he would probably play as a backup to Leon Goretzka. But because of his age, he's 24, 25 years of age. He might even be older. I'm not actually too sure. But because of his age, are Bayern Munich realistically going to be able to coach the technique out of him? He's 25 years of age. He's been playing, professional football for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So for Bayern Munich to sort of coach him out of what his habits is now in terms of his passing ability, can they actually improve on that? Probably not. Yes, I do understand that Bayern Munich's coaching compared to West Ham will be up here. So, whilst I do think the quality and the facilities they'll have will be, 100% improved, I just don't think that Bayern Munich would be able to coach that out of him and basically teach a player how to sort of kick a ball again, because that's essentially what they'll be training. Because everything else, his attitude, what he could give to teams, his box to box, you won't be able to coach that out of him. He's already got that. They'll be trying to coach him. Now, how can you pass the ball 5 yards? Can you pass the ball 30 yards? And just sort of that interchange play. Whether they can coach him, I'm not too sure. Now, West Ham, for me, as I said, 40 to 50 million pounds is what I believe he's worth. Because if we was going to sign someone from the Premier League, and the reason why we got him for so cheap, guys, is because you've got to look at the league he was playing in. He was playing in a league that isn't one of your big fives. It isn't the Bundesliga, the Premier League, Ligue 1, La Liga, right? It's none of those leagues. Obviously, the money in terms of TV revenue is a lot lower. Yes, Slavia Prague are in the Champions League, and that's where they probably would have made lots of their money. But if we was to sign Tomas Soucek from a European club, Bundesliga team, French league team, even from the Premier League, we probably would have been looking at 30 to 40 million pounds because of the league they're in. And that is a huge indication on transfers. And that is why I feel like West Ham will probably go and use their business elsewhere in terms of these European countries that are more obscure, like Ukraine, Russia, those kind of countries that might have hidden gems. Because if we was to sign the same calibre of player like Tomas Soucek in the European leagues, and even Soufal, if we was to sign Soufal from a Premier League club, or as I said, any European club that brings in a lot of money TV revenue wise, like the French league, you'd probably would be paying 10 or 15 million for Soufal. But because of the league he comes from and he was playing in, you're only picking him up for five or 6 million pounds. So for me, if the loss that we would take on Tomas Soucek in terms of what we would lose as a team, we've been looking and crying out for a player like Tomas Soucek for years. The amount of times, over the past years, we've said that we need someone who could do the box to box. Declan Rice was just not enough. You can't have Declan Rice just defending and then going forward, because he didn't have the legs next to him. He didn't have the legs. And he said, in interviews as well, that now Tomas Soucek is in the team, he doesn't have to do as much running, because he knows if he does go forward, he's got that little bit of protection with Tomas Soucek. And if Tomas Soucek goes forward, Declan Rice will sit deep. So it's sort of, it's a combination of the two. And we've been crying out with someone with box to box, and to have someone and then lose them 6 months later or a year later, if you're including the loan, we would have to spend 30, 40, 50 million to basically try and get that player back, unless we find another gem out in Ukraine's league or the Russian league that will probably be worth 5 or 6 million pounds or 10 million pounds. We're not gonna cut it. So for me, if West Ham were going to sell Tomas Soucek, I'll be putting a 40, 50, 60 million pound price tag. Is he worth 50, 60 million in terms of his actual ability? Probably not. But he's worth that to West Ham. So that is the question for me, guys. How much do you believe Tomas Soucek is worth to West Ham? What do you believe the rumours in terms of Bayern Munich being linked with Tomas Soucek? It doesn't really they don't really match up in terms of a club and a player. As I said, Bayern Munich are a team that are renowned as possession football. I would say that's one of Tomas Soucek's weaknesses, is his technical ability and his passing. So, and that's not me bashing him. That's me just, saying it how it is. Every player has got weaknesses, but he's got the ability to score goals, arriving late in the box, winning headers, ability to defend, getting back, box to box, got lots of stamina. It's just his technical ability. And as I said, his value is 40 to 50 million pounds. Guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more West Ham content. I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.